Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we'll be discussing Unit 5. It's about the economic systems of economic systems in the modern world. Now, the most dominant economic systems are the capitalism, socialism, and the Islamic system. The first one is capitalism. Capitalism is found in Europe and in North America. It's based on the private ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange. Okay, it may be freely used by owners as they wish to attempting maximize their wealth. So, if I want to open a shop, for example, according to the capitalism, I have the right to set my own rules and set the prices. Of course, the prices are up and down. It depends on the competition of the market. But the major thing that I will be using is just to maximize my profit. The only thing that the government is involved is just the taxes. I pay them taxes at the end of the year. Now, the features of capitalism, the capital is privately owned. That's why and profit maximization, of course. And this is why you will find in the West, especially in America, you will find like one person who owns like $1 billion or $10 billion or $20 billion. But on the other side, you will find a lot of poverty and need and unemployment as well. It's like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, for example. The third thing about features is the economic freedom, free market. It's a free market and competition. So you set your own price, and it's a free market. It depends on market force. That's important because it's supply and demand. So if people want your product, you can increase the price. It's like an example for that is like the iPhone. The iPhone can cost like $600 and can cost $1,000. So it depends on the company, the price of the company. The U.S. government does not interfere. The only thing they want is just to tax the company at the end of the year. Okay. Next is the wide range in the distribution of wealth. So you'll find extremely wealthy people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, and you will find extremely poor people unemployed. Now, exploitation of weak by the strong. So as a strong person, as a wealthy person, you're strong, so you exploit the people in need, and you give them actually low salaries with loads of work, and they have to work long hours as well. So that's the thing about exploitation. Now, on the other hand, you will have this socialism. Socialism, mostly it's practiced in Russia and Republic of China as well, and some countries of Eastern Europe. Now, it means the means of production, distribution, and exchange are owned by the country. It's not owned by the people. So actually, the government controls the production, controls the distribution, and the exchange. They control everything. Now, the state or the government owns the means of production, materialism, or the material, and the economic quality. Okay. Now, the third one is the Islamic economic system. What we know the Islamic economic system, it depends on the Holy Quran and what the Prophet ﷺ talked about. Now, the major characteristics of the economic system Islam is the right of ownership. That's the first thing, the right of ownership. In Islam, ownership and resources belong to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a human, private and public are kinds of properties in Islam. So with ownership, we have three different types. The ultimate owner of everything is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah gave you the right to have as a private property, like my jacket, for example, my glasses. That's privately owned. And then the public property, the public property, everything owned by the government, let's say, like free lands, like hospitals sometimes, universities sometimes, streets, for example. Now, in the economic freedom, Islam allows people to earn wealth, own it, and spend it as long as it's halal activity. It came from good sources in terms of the production, exchange, and the consumption. Okay, fine. Like the next part of the features of the Islamic economic systems, you have the right of ownership, the economic freedom, and you have the distributive justice, which is zakah and sadaqah. Of course, we know about zakah and sadaqah. What's the benefit of zakah? It brings about the protection of property from the encroachment and grudge. Okay, so poor people don't actually have any grudge against the rich people. They don't envy them because the rich people give the poor people 2.5% on annual basis, and they give them sadaqah. Okay, it's a means to aid and support the poor people. Yeah, cleans one's heart. Yeah, correct. And it's expressing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And most of that, the most important thing, it's mentioned in the Holy Quran. That's it. That's it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to give zakah. That's it. Okay, the next part is the basis of Islamic banking and finance. Like rules are taken from the Holy Quran, the Sunnah, and ijma' and ijtihad. Okay, now it prohibits exploitation such as excessive risk or uncertainty, usury, of course, or interest. It prohibits cheating, of course. Cheating is not allowed, and you can't deal with prohibited products. It's like pork, for example. It's like alcohol, for another example. Okay, now historical overview of the Islamic banking. Then the early days, the era of the Prophet and the Khalifa's time and the companions, they actually followed the Holy Quran and the Sunnah. Okay, the types of finance, you will have the sharaka, which is partnership. Okay, and the second one is the al-qard al-hasan. It means you give a loan and I give you 500 dirhams, you return it 500 dirhams without actually any interest, without any increase. Sarf, exchange of money, you exchange money. It's like the exchange agencies. And the ijara means the leasing. Ijara means the leasing. Okay, modern day transition and attempt. Now, the first the banking industry in Pakistan, they started in 1962, and then the second one was Met Gamar Local Saving in Egypt. It was in 63. Malaysian Pilgrims Savings Board. It was in 69. Dubai Islamic Bank, which was the first actually bank in UAE. It was 75, and it was the first Islamic bank maybe in the world. An actual bank, because these were not actual banks like international well-organized banks, but this is the first actually to be like well-organized one. And then the Malaysian Islamic Bank, which is in 83. So this is very famous one. It's one of the oldest, or maybe it's the first bank actually in the world, at Islamic bank. Okay, now this is the okay. What are the principles of Islamic banking? You have to memorize this. Prohibition of predetermined loaned repayments as interests. Profit and loss sharing, it has to be part of it. Prohibition of making money out of money. Prohibition of speculative behaviors such as uncertainty or gambling. Only Sharia approved contracts being acceptable, which is it has to go along with the Holy Quran, what's mentioned in the Holy Quran and the Sunnah. And the emphasis of productivity and real economic activity. Okay, prices are determined on supply and demand, profit and loss. Okay, and these financial actions are prohibited in Islam. Of course, the riba, which is known as interest or usury, and then the gharar. Gharar, it's the demands transparency in contracts. Gharar means like something is unclear. Anything is unclear, it's not acceptable. You have to put a clear contract, for example, clear prices, the quality of goods, no ambiguity, and so on. Okay, two major categories of riba. Riba in debt, which means I give you 500, you return it 1,000. And riba in exchange, riba al-fadl, they call it riba al-fadl,